Welcome back to Budget HQ, and I thought with all the lockdowns going on, I'll show you how plan for trips. As I've mentioned before, hoping, fingers crossed, to get to the Cape this year after it was delayed last year. But first order of business, went out and picked up one of the HEMA travel atlases. Only about $25, taking the price tag off. About $25, and it'll give you a good idea what direction you need to head, all the towns and that sort of stuff. And then once you sort of know where you want to go, that sort of thing, everything gets onto the computer, where it's Google Docs or Google Sheets, spreadsheet. I'll show you in a minute what I've done online, but on the computer. But just going along, towns, the kilometres to, time. Once you've got your list of towns, you can sort of get onto Google and Google Maps and just see what it reckons travel times between towns will be. Again, I sit on about 90, so it's going to be a little bit slower than what they suggest, but you can normally get a good idea of what sort of travel times you want. The other thing too, for the Cape, got the HEMA Cape Atlas, which is fantastic. Not only has it got lots of the maps for all the good tracks up there, but they've already done it, so they tell you what travel times are going to be like, obstacles, your sort of facilities, roadhouses, that sort of thing along the way, points of interest, that sort of thing. There can be plenty of times, and I know even when I went down Cameron's Corner, just driving past things that you didn't even know were there because there's a turn off, poorly signposted or something like that, and next minute it's gone and you can't turn around. So a lot of great stuff in here. All your plane wreckage and your World War II stuff up at Bamaga and right at the top. I have forked out and got myself a HEMA Navigator in the meantime. And of course, as soon as I do that, they go out and announce they've just released the HX2. So as long as the maps are the same, I don't really care about the unit itself. But I think that's enough about that. I'll get on the computer and we'll show you how I've prepped everything. Alright, so let's have a look at the map, shall we? As I said before, the first thing you want to do is work out where you are and what your route's going to be. So what have we got there? Tomorrow, further south. Wagga, Albury Wodonga, rightio. Whether you use Google Map, Google Earths, the map books, like I said before, work out your route, whether it's the most direct or indirect, depending on any locations you want to visit along the way. But we're going to go up Wagga, up Temora to West Wyalong, up to Parks to visit the radio telescope there on the way past, Dubbo, Gilgandra, and that's when we head north to Walgett, Lightning Ridge, and probably stay in Lightning Ridge or Hebel for night one. St George, and we're going to go up Roma, heading towards Charters Towers, Emerald, Claremont. Around here is Blado Crossing, which will be night 2 at the service station there, Roadhouse. Charters Towers, Townsville, and then up the coast to Tully, which is, I think, near Mission Beach somewhere. Zoom in. So that's all, there. All Tully Gorge is where night 3 is going to be. But again, just working your way up. Major towns, Cairns will be a resupply, Cooktown, Port Douglas, up through Lakeland National Park, back over to Musgrave Roadhouse, and then up the PDR. So get onto your maps, work it out which way you want to go. List all those names down. Once you have that in your notebook, that's when you go over and you start making your spreadsheet. Rightio. Now again, Google Sheets, any sort of Excel spreadsheets, whatever else to do your data. Here we've got the Cameron Corner one, which we've already done. Cape York distance chart. Unadata, Birdsville, and Murray Spring trip, future trips I want to do, but we'll go and have a look at the Cape York one. Here again, once you sort of go along following your map, come on, light up, there you go. All the towns along the way. Mainly number one is just do your list of towns. Don't worry about spreading them into days yet. You do that once you work out kilometres and that sort of thing, but go through, list all your towns along the way from start to finish. Then once you've done that, you can move over using, again, Google Maps, using your travel atlases or whatever else, work out the kilometres between towns, 200 255 k's from West Wyland to Dubbo, for example. Again, once you go through and go, right, day one, going to do 900 k's. I know I can do that in a day if I leave home early. You can start breaking it down into your days, how far you want to go. Again, 900 there. Want to really push up into the tropics, get into Queensland as quick as I can. So 2 days, by the third day, up into Tully's. And then once you get there, you can start slowing down and enjoying the local sights and enjoy the holiday. Just to get out of New South Wales and get up into the good country. But then disregard actuals, just gaps I put in so I can actually put down what's used. But again, using your Google Maps, you can work out your time travelled between locations as well. So again, it sort of lets you know how long it's going to take, how far you're going to be travelling in a day. 9.5 hours is probably a little bit conservative, but again, that's what it says there. And then over here I've just got the progressive trip kilometres. That way again, work out where you're going to be. I know I've got to have to do a service along the way, whether it's on the way up at Cairns or on the way back. A lot of people suggest on the way back, that way any water you get in your diffs or gearbox, etc., you can get it serviced and get it out before you drive the rest of the way home. So again, list your Ks, and then once you have all that data, you can work out your fuel usage. Now, best way to work out your fuel usage, if your car doesn't tell you itself, even though that's average, fill it up, go drive for 100 k's, and go back and fill it up again and see how much fuel you used, and that'll give you a rough idea of what your fuel usage is. On this trip, any of the highway stuff I've estimated to be about 14 litres to 100 in the patrol, and then any of the off-road stuff I think I've made 18 litres to 100 just to cover any excess fuel I might use. But the easy way to work out your fuel consumption, say here for Wagga it's 147 k's, so you go 1.47, make it into a hundredth, times the fuel usage, which would be 14 litres per 100, which would give you 20 litres point, oh that shouldn't be plus, it should be equals, would give you 20.5 litres. Same down here with 255 again, 2.55 times 14 would get you 35.7, and that's how you work out what kilometres or what fuel you use per kilometre along the trip. And then get rid of them. That way you can work out right how much fuel you're going to use in a day, and then work out where you're going to need fuel stops. So add them all up. By Gilgandra, I'm going to have 87.2 litres of fuel used, and I'm now looking at your Fuel Spy, Fuel Watch, all those sort of apps on your phone that I look at every couple of weeks just to keep these tally updated with current fuel prices. And again, it's changed since this has been recorded, so most of these prices have probably gone up 5 or 6 or 0.56 cents a litre already. But now it's going to cost $1.42, which is going to be $124 to fill. Same thing down here. Next stop, Roma, being one of the cheaper fuel stops along the way. Used 97.9 litres, it's going to cost 136. And at least that way you can sort of work out a rough idea. This isn't 100%, it's close, but you're going to know where you're going to need fuel. If you pull in, well, Townsville being the cheapest, but if I pulled into Charles Towers and fuel was $1.40 or under what it was supposed to be, why not top it up? It wouldn't be 70 litres, it'd probably be 20 less, so probably about 50 litres to fill up, a little bit cheaper. Just that peace of mind of always having the full tank, especially with some of the distances you're going to travel. But as we sort of head up Cairns again, all these prices have changed. Cooktown's probably the last of the decent prices at $1.60, because as you see here, once we get on the PDR and up into the Cape, $2.05 at Bramwell Junction. A lot of these prices I've seen haven't really changed much. They've gone up a little bit more since I thought I had the dates, but I don't. Oh, they might be at the bottom. But again, all your fuel, what you're going to use, especially when you're up there. I know I can do 1300 k's both tanks if I'm conservative. Getting up the top and back down the Weeper is going to be a bit hard, so I might have to just put put 30 or 40 litres in at Bramwell or Bamaga just to top the tank up to make sure I get to Weipa where it's going to be a bit cheaper. But here again, once you've done all that, you know exactly how much fuel you're going to use on the trip. Again, updated on the 10th for the 7th, so it has been a couple of months, but I thought I'd updated that sooner. Obviously not. Once all that data's put in, you can work out your totals then. So it's going to be 133 hours and 45 minutes driving. It's a total of 8,400 Ks, 1,100 litres, and it's going to cost 1,652. I know I have updated this since it hasn't come through here yet, because I know it's about 1,750. It's gone up another $100 for the total trip just with the increase of fuel prices, because a lot of them are now over the $1.50 mark. So that's it again. Then you can work out 18 days total. Gives me 2 spare days and 2 emergency days. So there's 4 days there extra. If I get somewhere and want to stay, I can work it out. But once that's done, we can head back to the Google machine. Instead of Sheets, go to Docs, clear U. Then we can make our itinerary. And here we have our itinerary. Again, basic information up the top. As I said before, 14 litres on the highway, actually on 16 litres on the full drive on dirt. There's going to be 6,300 Ks on the highway and 1,600 on dirt and full drive. So again, that figure's changed. That's about 1,150 now. So once you know your days, go through, set aside a page per day, your basic information, where you're going, distance and fuel used, timings if you can. As I said before, I want to stop at the dish and get a couple of photos there. So any landmarks along the way you want to stop, write them in, type them up. End of the day, where you want to stay tonight, Hebel store or the caravan park, phone numbers, all that sort of information that's crucial that you don't want to be having to Google or look up while you're on the trip, because a lot of these places you're not going to have mobile reception to look them up. Here again, Blado Crossing Roadhouse for the second night. Telephone number, I know it's going to cost $15 for an unpowered site. A lot of that sort of stuff doesn't change. Again, Tully Gorge, distance between major spots, especially out there where there's not a lot in between towns. Fossicking, get Fossick license, that sort of stuff. It's all here, all the information you need. Whitewater rafting, Tully Gorge, looked it up, $120 to book. I haven't booked anything along the way, whether it's this, whether it's campgrounds. We'll keep going up to Elms Beach here, day 5. Eddie's Beach Camp, telephone number and price again. They want you to book 2 weeks early. I don't want to book in and then be locked into having to be there by a certain time. It's just, all you do is rush then. I want to, hopefully with COVID and some places locked down and everything else, not going to be as many tourists up there. I know, I've heard stories currently of a lot of the campsites up on the Cape being fully booked out, yet there's no one or very little people actually there. So I'm not a very big camp. Everything's in the back of the ute, plus your chair and table and that. If I do camp somewhere and it's someone else has booked it, I can easily move. It's not a big hassle. So again, I know from Elms Beach they want your name, date, how many people, how many vehicles, that sort of stuff. There's very limited alcohol restrictions, or a very limited amount of alcohol you can have there, so I wasn't going to take any at all. But again, just work out all your information with the help of your map books, Google, YouTube. Most of these places someone's already been to, they've already taken video, so you can get to have a good look at Bramwell Junction or other places. Again, telephone numbers there. You can see what other people have done, you can see if it's worth visiting. Once you got all this out, just Google towns, Google places, see if there's anything there of note to have a look at, stop and have a look. It's really not that hard. Again, up the top you got all your World War II stuff, your DC plane crashes, all your sort of military history from back in the day when the top end was heavily used by the US military and Australian military for the defence of the country. So get all the information in one place, print it all out. It's in a folder behind the seat of your car or in the glove box. You've got it on your phone if need be, but it's here. You got paper copies as well, just as that backup in case something happens. So it's really not that hard. Seen that bit in some places. Weeper, Mind Tours. Sort of looking at your day, where you're going to be. No, I'm going to be in Weeper hopefully by the next day or before the next day. Start at 8 o'clock and 2 o'clock departures. Hopefully get there before lunch and jump on the 2 o'clock departure and be back to Weeper to camp for that night. Again, $37 for a site. Telephone number to book. It just can't get any harder than that. And once you've got all that sort of itinerary done, here it is here, and it's all in a folder. You can have it sit in your glove box, sit in your dashboard, whatever else. So there's 3 pages for your spreadsheet for all the data there. And once you start getting into your thingy, like what's this, day 4, Tully Gorge to the Daintree or Wonga Beach. Again, all your sites, your two caravan parks at Wonga Beach, phone numbers, price for powered sites, that sort of stuff, unpowered sites, plan B, just sort of adding more data. You can start working what you want to have, organised lunch, so you start getting meal prep and that sort of thing. Get an idea of what sort of food you're going to be packing to take along. Where we got here, Elm Beach to Frenchman's Track, day 6. So Isabel Falls, Old Lara Homestead, Battle Camp, the White Little Lagoon, all your sort of sites along the way. Port Stewart, if I can get in there. I know it's about 35 k's off the PDR, so it's going to take a little bit of time going in and that. Your roadhouses, Musgrave Roadhouse, Archer River Roadhouse, distances apart, telephone numbers. And once I've spent a little bit of time sort of writing all this stuff in there, I can go back to the computer, type it in, and start getting it all looking good. Like here, all your sort of stuff around Cooktown, Mossman Gorge, Lions Den Hotel, Woodja Falls, Black Mountain, Archer Point, if time permits. I know it's only like 52 k's off route, so it's just a matter of going through and getting all this stuff written in there. So it'd normally take you about an hour, spend half an hour every couple of days or something, plan it out, get on the Google, watch some other YouTube videos of people that have done the same trip as well. As you can see, coming back through Charleville, Hillston home, there's not much in the itinerary for those days, because it's pretty much just going to be a head for home, I think. Longreach, Stockman's Hall of Fame, all that sort of stuff on the way back, all your lava tubes, Richmond, Winton, dinosaur museums, that sort of stuff up there as well. So yeah, and that's all the planning. Like here, that's how it starts. Just on a bit of paper, following your finger along the map, working out all your towns, go through. Once you've got your route planned out, go back. Again, most of your maps are going to tell you how far it is between places anyway. All your distances, cumulative distances, so you know what the total trip's going to be, and then you can start working out fuel use per spot, per town, per city, and then where you're going to need fuel after it. What we got there, 927 k's. We know that's going to be the end of night 1. Normally your first day is the big one, because you can get away from home nice and quick. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else on that. Again, nice and easy. You don't have to go and spend $600 on a Hema Navigator. Again, $25 for that one. Let's have a look briefly. Queensland, Sunshine Coast, Townsville. That's sort of Cairns. Go to 20. Yeah, they got a being Hema, they got a special one for all your well-known places too. Like again, Cairns, all your major routes going up. Blanket has got Cooktown, that sort of area as well. But again, like these maps are some of the best maps you can get. that can sit behind the seat of the ute in a drawer, whatever else. You're not relying on power, phone reception, phone GPS, that sort of thing. So as much as great as technology is, it's always good just to keep some of the old paper maps. Even just the old Queensland big old paper map, they're waterproof. This is more so just hang on the wall and plan your trip, get that black texture out, work out where you're going to go, and lockdowns permitting, get out there and do it. So prep's going to keep on going for Cooktown for Cape York. There is plan Bs starting to form at the moment. There's a big old blowfly over there. That's what this one here is. Big old blowfly. Stay there. Plan B's Birdsville. Again, if I can't get through New South Wales to get to Queensland, then I'm not going to be able to go to Cape, because to go out through South Australia up to Birdsville track and then back up Bullio and to the Cape that way is going to be about 950 k's extra, so 1800 k's extra to the trip, which is more fuel, more money and more time, which I don't really have. So if we can't get to the Cape, working on plan B now, which is going to be across to follow the Murray River west, cross the border into New South Wales, go down and see where the Murray mouth is, because it's something I've always wanted to see, being on the Murray here. Once I've done that, north up to Maree, then the Birdsville track up to Birdsville, across, and then back down the Strzelecki track into Minka and back into Flinders Ranges that way. So about half the distance, but I only need half the time to do it as well. So that's plan B. I need South Australia to open up before I can do that, otherwise I'm not going anywhere. So we'll see what happens there. I'll go through all the South Australia stuff if it comes to that, which it looks more and more likely. But for now, I'll end the video. That's Trip Prep 101 from Budget HQ, and yeah, not quite sure. I do have one more trip planned I want to get done, but again, lockdown, so it's only a local one. I only need a weekend to do it, so hopefully that will be the next video you see. We'll get out and visit a local dredge that I've never seen and only recently learnt about. So until then, I'll talk to you later.